it was a whole tournament concluded with Astralis finishing with an average of 50 utility damage per round, a player limping at 50 HP at the end of a tournament on that map. That is just an absurd average, and something that AVANGAR are going to be playing up against. James going to try and keep hold of his AWP, and I'm going to try and keep hold of my excitement because I've been told the game is on its way. Berlin, I love what you're doing. You look beautiful today, but I want to hear you scream. I want to hear you scream so loud. Put your heart on your sleeves as you witness Counter-Strike history. Let's get the grand final started. It's Astralis, it's AVANGAR, it's Inferno. Let's get it on with Anders and Moses.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Astralis versus AVANGAR. We're going to get this grand final underway. Inferno was the first map. Astralis is going to be starting on the T side, and also AVANGAR on the CT side. And best of 3 game coming up. Moses, now the game is live!
Astralis sending 3 players into Banana, and there's 3 defenders here as well. Buster far back in support in Astralis. A typical boost to look for aggression, nothing coming quite yet, and a stalemate early on. Neither of these teams want to make that first mistake in these grand finals. Just ready and waiting. Kickert and Dren trying to find their timing. Pop flash over. Kickert's going to get the first action. The CZ, it's got nothing. AVANGAR has nothing, and Astralis is cracked open towards this B-bomb site.
We talked a lot about that Astralis utility use already on the desk being mentioned, and you know, it's true with HEs and a bunch of different things, but that one flashbang absolutely cracking open top banana, and now that bomb is going to be going down. 5 versus 3, pretty much an impossible retake here. I have no idea how you could even dream of doing this. Sanji rushing through with a flashbang. He's going to turn around, getting a headshot. He gets one more kill before he's finally down. A godlike play from Sanji. And now it's a 2-on-2. They line up the device, and he's not going to take anything coming from that side. A quick double, and Astralis will win it, but for a second, it looked like they were about to do the impossible.
Right when Sanji pulls it back into it, Device is there to just shut it right back down. That double kill is heartbreaking because AVANGAR all of a sudden had to have felt like they had a real chance. This is so brilliant, especially for a young player on this kind of stage to get this level of a start. But if you're AVANGAR, that's what you don't want. You had the setup. You had 3 players at B. You wanted to fight for that control. That's the exact fight you were looking for, and you still can't win it. 1-0 for the Danes. And a full investment from defense. Upgraded pistols, 3 CZs, and there's that utility damage. Device down to 22. It is returned on the other side, though. Buster and Kickert going to take some chip damage themselves.
Device is going to be giving up on that Krieg at any point. Could give it to Glaive or any of the others. They all have head armor, of course. Kind of a must-buy thing now that you know that they could be picking up, you know, SMGs or anything like that.
And Astralis is fine being patient right now. They want the utility to be used early on by the CT side. You can see 3 smokes remaining with just over a minute. And Astralis can start applying a little bit of pressure to force 1 or 2 out earlier. There's the follow-up at the B-bomb site. No smokes left on this part of the map.
The thing you obviously want to avoid here is walking into a stack. Don't want to be going into a bomb site where there's 3 or 5 people waiting. Better to try and spend a bit of time and sort of feel it out. And I think that's what Magisk is doing right now. Just getting a sense of, is anyone here? What's going on?
That, and you can see 1 flashbang used. That's information. That's something they don't have to worry about later on. So Magisk just firing up, just making the footsteps, has forced 1 extra piece of defense out. There's the follow-up, and Keiko chooses the wrong time. It's just Buster. P250, but Astralis still not committed. 18 seconds left, and with just the sole defender now gone, the rest of AVANGAR has to save.
When the first target you have to fight with a weapon like that is jumping, it's generally quite hard to do anything, because even if you were really quick and you manage to adjust and sort of get the headshot mid-air, it doesn't matter, because he's already so far sort of out in that angle that there are just going to be more people coming in behind. So if you're the first guy into a bomb site like that, and you generally, if you can get that jump timing right, that can be a pretty powerful setup. Ooh, Sanji though, actually making a lot of money. Remember, the kill reward for that SMG is $600, unlike the pistols, which are down to 300. So that's a huge difference. Him just picking up a lot of money in the bank, and everything matters, most especially when you're playing on the CT side of Inferno, where you need smokes, molotovs, all those expensive grenades to block off all the choke points. It's a huge part of the meta game right now.
And that's going to be such a big factor. AVANGAR is going to have to do a better job of holding their nerve once the guns come out, once the gun rounds get underway. You could see those pop flashes from the CT spawn choke point, those are too early. It's just one player challenging and making noise. You need to hold them for a little bit longer, and obviously that is a very tough thing to do against Astralis.
Could even be that Sanji, with that kind of a bank, he could drop the ult for Jame earlier than maybe they would have normally been able to. So that's a choice that they have to make. Do they want the early sniper rifle, or do they want all the grenades, basically? I think that could be a choice that they'll have to make in a couple of rounds, or in the next round, really. They still have a lot to fight with here, so Astralis have to be careful. 3 armors and Sanji's, and again, he's making money all the time.
Well, he's just playing like a god to start this out. 6 kills already and 1 death. What a performance and what a shutdown of Dupree. Glaive is going to swap out for the AK-47, and Astralis might be forced to at least look towards Banana. Glaive and Device going to attend to that. You have to see if there's any kind of aggressive defense and force it back if it's there. But a 5-on-4 and a chance for AVANGAR in the 3rd round to win one that they probably didn't have a chance of, or probably shouldn't have won.
Buster, very hard to do anything in this position. Again, the smoke, that's the thing that would sort of save him, but when it happens at a minute, that's going to be tricky. Kicker is coming in with the next smoke, so that's kind of good news, and if they can wait with that smoke until 30 seconds thereabout, that's going to be a big difference.
And towards mid, they're going to go for the information play. They want to start clearing out these halls. They want to know what kind of a hit it's going to be. And unfortunately, I think they've looked, and it was all clear when they peeked. Jame is rotating away, Adren is rotating away, but Astralis is coming right back here, and this timing could not be worse for AVANGAR. This is an absolute disaster.
It is. This is one of those rounds, and it happened yesterday as well in the semifinal, where it looked like Astralis were playing off the minimap. Again, any new viewers to the game, that minimap in the top left, only we can see that. Obviously, the players can't see where the other team is, but it feels like Astralis sometimes just know. They make the perfect call at the perfect time. You're absolutely right. AVANGAR, they even did their due diligence. They went and saw, there's nobody here in second mid.
Yep.
We should be all right. Let's try and move for it. Kick picked off in library. That's a great call in the middle of the round.
I wouldn't even be upset if AVANGAR went for this, if for no other reason just to get 1 or 2 more kills, start limiting the money, take something away. Maybe you get lucky, but especially with the bomb blowing up, you have them trapped at the bomb site. So multiple players are likely going to head towards pit at the end of this round for safety.
Yeah, and maybe that's what they're setting up for. At least Buster up there, he's got the UMP. When the bomb goes up, if you do a good enough amount of damage, they're actually going to exit the other way. They're not going into the pit corner instead. I think that's what they were thinking about. So now, even as the round is over, they're still making good calls, Astralis. That's another good read. All the details matter here.
They remember the Doja nade.
Yeah.
They don't want to mess with that.
Don't want any of it.
3-0 for Astralis. But here come the weapons, and as you mentioned, the discussion of whether the op would come out this early due to the bonus money from Sanji is also going to allow Jame to have a whole ton of utility. So this is actually a very, very strong buy for them in just the 4th round.
And honestly, given how Jame has been playing in this game, why would you not give him that
what a
op?
priority. Put that in his hand as much as possible.
Such an outrageous player right now. Magisk thinking about peeking that corner. He's going to be quick about it, but Kickard on the other side. Very strong on that defense. They did take a lot of damage, but that's a 1 fight. And that could slow down Astralis a fair bit. Device almost could have stolen that back. Sanji maybe a bit careless falling back from that one.
Yeah, the damage on these defenders is so rough. Yes, they're 1 player up, but at what cost? 1 HE grenade, that's on Glaive. We'll see where he places that. Sanji's got to be careful towards this choke point if he leans in to try and take a peek. It's going to be a boost up for the defense. 3 players here still. They're really respecting the danger of a B hit from Astralis. And at the moment, with 4 players in Banana and no control elsewhere on the map, that's the right call to make.
Having 2 people like that towards CT spawn, I wonder why they don't boost one of them up. Because, yeah, they do. A little bit of time. Could be a pretty good call. They don't have any more HEs on the Astralis side, so he shouldn't be grenaded out of there. And with only 20 health, if he can get a kill before he goes down, that's pretty big. They're not going to be swapping back. They're going to be running for it here. Great counter Molotov coming out. Sanji's up there and he does get the kill. Buster with one in return. Not looking bad at all. 25 seconds, but Buster has to buy some time. The backup is coming, but they won't get there in time, and they've just Molotoved him out of the corner. Heads up play from Astralis. Don't try and take the battle. And now Jame overstepping the line a bit too much, a bit careless. He could have been dead already. Maybe should have been. Dupree, instant headshot on Adren. And now Jame. They needed to be 2 to do this. Now, I would say saving the orb, even though it's painful, you should do it.
Especially with the low HP. Yeah. He's got to back off. Again, AVANGAR have the perfect defense they could have asked for. 3 players at that B bomb site, and still they can't hold on to it. 3 players there the whole time as well. It wasn't even a question.
I mean, it isn't far off. I guess the rotation takes a little bit of time, so Buster's alone for quite a while back there.
Yeah.
And if they hadn't had a Molotov and they had to go and sort of hard clear that new box corner, maybe that would have been something, but ultimately...
That was a Molotov as well, picked up off the dead body of Glaive. That was the one as they ran over it. They snagged it just right at the last second to be able to utilize it. Then they just waited for the Flames to force him out of position. And this Astralis offense is starting to get rolling.
Off to a very hot start. You have to imagine there could have been some sort of conversation on AVANGAR's side to say, we sort of saw what happened to Liquid yesterday, so let's, oh sorry, not Liquid, but NRG. And I guess it happened to Liquid to some extent too.
Oh, it definitely did.
Don't let's get, you know, rolled early on. Don't give them all that momentum. Just try and take a round away at some early stage. Jame going to be Molotov back around the corner. He's got a little bit of backup, but it's just busted there with the Deagle. That's going to be a fairly decent counter grenade coming out. Lands right on top of 3 of them, but they're right in his face. This is where Jame actually does most of his really good work. The Deagle to cover, and he misses the flick. He had to get that one. A lot is riding on it. They're now back behind the smoke wall and should be getting a bomb plant here in a 3-on-4.
Jame gets caught in an awkward position. Does well to even get the first kill, but from there it's just so hard to decide how to play the situation. Even with Buster covering him from coffins, and now a very difficult retake, and Dupree has control of Banana. He's cleared out the flank himself, so they know nothing is coming from middle. And AVANGAR, you have to go for this, 4-on-3.
They're setting it up, 2 coming in from construction, 2 from CT spawn. That Molotov does nothing, it actually goes into the smoke. That's a mistake from the Astralis side. That could have bought a lot of time. Device nearly going down, and Magus is low on health, and there's Buster taking the head right off Device. Magus still fighting, and now that bomb is ticked for a very long time, and I'm not sure if Adren can do anything at this point. It's just too late. Maybe a couple of exit kills here, but Astralis will find a way to pick up a 5th round. Magus with the triple, and Astralis, I mean, a couple of bullets away from losing that round, I think.
They've had AVANGAR, despite losing all these rounds, they've actually, managed to hold on to that B bomb site pretty well with the initial defense. Those retakes are going to be so tough. That's one of the areas Astralis has always been strong in. Their man-up situations and hanging on to the post plants. That's where AVANGAR is going to have to find something special. 5-0, but a double-up setup now for the defense. You have to imagine they're going to want 1 in Banana, 1 towards that A bomb site. They need to find picks to alleviate some of this. Jame, does he want to go for a peek and alt mid? And indeed he does, but backs away, chooses a different option at the last second.
We do enjoy the craziness, but running down alt mid that late in the round, that's definitely crazy. Look at this fast execute coming around the corner. They must have called it out. Is there going to be a flashbang or anything, or is Jame just going to slow peek it? Had a big chance there, but now if he re-peeks it, it's dangerous. You don't know how many people are going to be waiting on that corner, and they're going to back it off Astralis.
These are the risks that Astralis is going to be able to punish as this game goes on. Look at this. Jame trying to get his team back into it, trying to make it happen, and he's going to get punished. Sanjay here with the SMG. He's been so good with it. He's got the first, and he needs more. A dink is not enough, and Adren starts to feel lonely in pit.
He has got no kills so far in the game. Now would be the time to really step it up. Playing in pit's a powerful position, but you need somebody else there to help you out. There's a good start, taking down Magus. 50 seconds on the clock. Dupree now next in line, but look at double teaming here. Right. Oh my God, he got that headshot on Dupree. He nearly did it. That would have been everything. Now Buster has a very tough choice to make, and I don't even know if you can dream of doing this. He's thinking about it, but
these bomb sites on Inferno are so difficult to retake, especially going over to this A bomb site when you have so much ground to cover. You add on top of that, there's no kit on Buster. He doesn't have a smoke to just drop it on the bomb and go for something desperate. So he's got to keep this op in his hands as they have that full losing bonus. So that's a weapon they must have in the next round. But this is This is going to be so tough. These situations from here on out, AVANGAR in the back of their mind eventually is going to say, we can't go for these saves. We have to actually try and go for it because the situation is going to start getting way too desperate very quickly.
They save the orb once again. And obviously the round loss bonus is kicked all the way up. 6-0 in favor of Astralis very early on, and they haven't been easy rounds. Some of these, they've had to fight to get onto the bomb sites, and some of the times they've been very low on health. But ultimately, they're getting the rounds, and 6 rounds early on T side Inferno is pretty good.
Oh, it's phenomenal. This is disastrous for AVANGAR. We'll see if they can recover, but at the moment, you need everyone to step up. The guys who have kind of gotten you here, 2 of the most impactful players on the AVANGAR side of things, Kickert and James, 1 kill apiece. Adren has 2, the most experienced player on the team, a former major MVP himself. Just gets that double kill in the previous round, and that's it. Sanji, the one delivering at 9 and 5, but you need more than that. And like you said, even though there is resistance, and even though they are, like Astralis is having to battle to get into the bomb sites, eventually it cracks, and there's just no way.
Well, the first 3 rounds that you lose where it's close, you can keep telling a story like, listen, it's so close, next time we'll do it. You know, the 4th or 5th time you tell that same story, it's like now it's no longer believable. Like that rings really hollow after a while. Like, but you know, they're still winning the rounds, aren't they? We'll see what can happen now. Round number 7, and setting up at the bottom of Banana, some grenades being exchanged, and Meg is, I thought he was safe from that first smoke, but apparently not. And now the grenade's on top, and he's gone. That's a beautiful timing.
I'm surprised he didn't just hop out when as soon as he put the Molotov away. He took a lot of damage from the flames there. Good double nade. AVANGAR needed that start. They need this man-up situation. 3 players towards the A bomb site for the moment, but James is going to be mobile. He can either switch spots with someone to post up in AWP. Look how far back on the map Astralis is for the moment. They're expecting that AVANGAR is going to try and switch things up, try and get a little bit cheesy. Maybe you push an ult mid, maybe you push through halls. They're waiting for that kind of a play at the moment.
This is dangerous because we could have almost a replay of the same scenario where if Sanji doesn't live, Adren is alone in pit again. And strong as a position that is, it isn't when they're coming in from every angle and they're wrapping around, at least thinking about it. Device is now checking top banana, making sure no one's really there, but James is. And he's going to be taking a fair bit of damage. This is such great map control for Astralis.
Oh, kick it with the wide peak. That is a nice shot, and that's going to force Astralis' hands. Towards the A bomb site we go. Sanji in the corner. It's Adren to hold on. Molotov coming in. He does have a smoke. He doesn't use it. He peeks first, and he eats the nade. Nice combo. The 1-2 punch from Glaive, and it's just Sanji. He's been stellar. But how much can he do? There's the first kill, and trying to lure them into the bomb site, and he can't get anything else. 2 players alive for Astralis, and Buster needs to back away. His teammates are here. And another retake in store for AVANGAR, and it's one they must have.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This is a must-win round. They're going to be boosting over. It's a good idea, but they sort of mess it up a little bit. And now that position gets re-smoked. This is very rough indeed. Are they going to try and wrap around the other way? A lot of time has already been burned off. That smoke is still up in the corner. Dupree now in a very powerful position over at Graveyard. He can control pretty much the whole bomb site from this sip on the bomb site itself, and it's ticking, and Kickert will get a kill. There's Dupree with one. Transfer on to Kickert, and now Buster off close. Dupree almost gets it, and Buster has no kit. They get all the kills, but they can't win the round.
That's so heartbreaking. That one sticks worse, and he dies to the bomb explosion. No AWP saved. And Astralis just running up the score at this point. What a great performance, great positioning change for Dupree. Not only does it help him get the double kill, but the fact that it buys so much time. Look at how he has to commit to hunting down Dupree. That extra second it takes, he can't get to the bomb in time. It's just getting worse. And I think AVANGAR knows it. Now you see them buying up everything they possibly can. 3 SMGs on the board for this defensive side.
They're so close all the time. Down to 2v2s, almost retaking those bomb sites, but not making it. And as you said, that AWP gets lost towards the end. This is very rough, isn't it? I mean, look at the money on the Astralis side. They're 7-0, and none of them have over 2,250 on Magus. That in itself tells almost the entire story here.
Well,
That's a good opening.
Yeah, but this is where it's going to get really, really sketchy for AVANGAR, because this is where you start to feel, especially as younger players, that you need to be the one to do something to get your team back in the game. This is where some of the teamwork kind of falls out of the back of your mind. You're not calling for flashbangs. You're not, setting up crossfires. You're trying to make some heroic effort to get your team sparked up, and that's when it can just collapse, because we know Astralis just does not make a whole lot of mistakes. And they will punish yours. And Dupree is being ruthless. He wants to take everything out of the hands of AVANGAR. It's going to start with Samji.
Yeah, just spotting him earlier, so well aware. 8-0. I mean, if you combine this with how they got started against NRG yesterday, these are some of the most devastating early runs we've seen. And NRG were actually able to sort of, they were able to start to run it back a bit. They made it look competitive. It was just too late. And we need to see something similar out of AVANGAR, where they can actually start to convert some of these rounds, build really anything here in the first half. 8 rounds, what a beginning.
I say at this point, you have another round. James is going to have the AWP, and I think you just tell him, do whatever you want. Like, if you want to push alt mid, if you want to take a peek through window, try and get him started, try and get him fired up.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose at this point. Your defenses haven't worked. You've had 3 players at the B bomb site and still lost, so you've been able to make rotations today, haven't been able to retake. Get James involved with that AWP very early on.
Running inside the smoke, that looked like a lineup. That looked like it should have been a double. They were all hugged up against the wall, but now instead, Device is right on top of him, and that is not a fair fight. Once you lose that first no-scope, there's nothing left.
Well, I wasn't looking for anything that crazy. That seemed a bit over-eager from James, but I understand why he's trying it. As we just talked about. Again, pressure towards the B-bomb site. Just 2 players, but enough to make the defense feel nervous, especially with the man down. I think at this point, with the weaponry, with the utility that AVANGAR has, you can almost, the only option is really to gamble into a bomb site. Even that might not fool Astralis. With 1 minute, they're certainly going to go investigating as AVANGAR makes that call to gamble at the A site.
And Astralis are just checking out apartments, saying, is anyone here? Can they know where we are? Well, that flashbang will probably tell them that someone was just sort of looking middle, that maybe they even heard the steps. So right now, they're just scouting for information, Astralis. Figuring out what AVANGAR can know and can't know. They fall back a little bit. At B-bomb side, almost entirely undefended.
Oh, they line up, but Dren gets the double. That is a good start, and here comes Astralis back to the A-bomb site. There was utility thrown towards B, and you can see they were trying to take advantage of the rotations, and Dren is shutting them all down. There's the play from the experienced member of the team. Dren steps up to the plate. Quad kill to get AVANGAR on the board for the first time in this grand finals.
And a beautiful move, wasn't it? Like the counterintuitive move to move forward after you really get the first 2 kills. That's the part where they're just not expecting it, because the textbook move here is falling back right after you pick up that first double. You just say, all right, I'm going to be falling back. We're defending the bomb side, but nope. Goes for it, doubles down, and that makes a big difference. Round number 10, the first one now on the board for AVANGAR. And if he started something big here, as Buster's now pushing down towards Banana. Oh, and they know Device is in there. And dropping a Magus right on the other side, jumping through, and he's going to get killed as well. Buster with a big double. They love that. And look at the money on Astralis.
Yeah, it's really, really bruised. AVANGAR was waiting for this moment. They have to capitalize. James on ramp side. Gonna hold for any kind of mid control, and Astralis wants to re-aggress towards Banana, retake this part of the map. Lave checking the corners, spearheading for his team. There's the pump flash. As the smoke clears, he's gonna keep going forward, and I think AVANGAR knows what's coming. Samji is rotating into the position. He's getting here very, very early. He's got 1 flashbang for his teammates. He can help from far, far back. They're going for the boost. Molotov to deny access to the site.
They can't even put it out. They don't have any smokes left on Astralis, so that's a bit rough. Buster getting 1 more kill. Why not make it a triple? And finally he goes down. Sip, he was even pre-aiming that through the smoke. He expected the boost to come, but now there's only 30 seconds left. A 2 versus 4. And this is a round that really should not be losable for AVANGAR. Flashbang, the bomb is planted, sure, the kicker is going to be there, and it's all on Dupree, and he's just got no chance. Sanji will take him down. AVANGAR finding a second round. Thanks to Buster and some real heroic play over at that B-bomb side.
And really great flashes as well from AVANGAR on that retake. Yeah, it's a 4-on-2, but just do everything to secure your own money, your own weaponry, and secure the round win. 2 in a row now as AVANGAR trying to come to life. And as you mentioned, I mean, they kept it so close for so long. These 2 rounds, they've just broken the economy of Astralis. So back to pistols for the T side, a half investment.
Some of these rounds, and you know, I don't want to dig up the past already, Moses, but some of these rounds yesterday were some of the rounds that NRG ended up losing, which is why we sort of, I mean, probably one of the most heartbreaking matches of all time yesterday. Yeah. Just for that reason, that every time they just got the, you know, some sort of edge, and as James going down to sip.
There's no one in mid. There's no one in mid to cover that because they put 3 players at B. It's only a Dren here. He's got to deliver and he can't. Just the 1 kill, and now Magic steps up, and he's going to go for more. He can actually cut off the rotations entirely.
There's nobody on A. How can this be? It is exactly what happened yesterday. As soon as they have Astralis down, as soon as they're out of money, and it seems like you should be able to run something back, it all goes horribly wrong.
I mean, you have to assume. I love that call from Astralis because in my head, I'm just assuming that Astralis, we know how well they prep and how well they're able to read different ways to counter their opponents. And they've talked about it in interviews through each stage of these playoffs. The way they did it to Liquid with the Vertigo pick, the way they did it to NRG on Overpass. Now here, they had to have spotted it, you know, throughout this stage that AVANGAR likes to play 3 players at the B-bomb site. They had to have seen it themselves. And they've been waiting for the right moment to hit up mid very, very quickly. And what better time than when you have deagles, when you have deficient weaponry, catch them off guard.
I mean, we mentioned it heartbreaking many times yesterday. We're getting a taste of it here now. 9-2 in favor of Astralis. Leaving AVANGAR, I mean, cutting the celebration short real early. Not even sure it got started much at all.
James still having a really rough game, 1-6. Which might be why you've seen some of the awkward fight selections these past few rounds out of him trying to make up for it. That looked like he wanted to go in towards ult mid and just did not expect Zip to take that peek so early in the round, and obviously Dren the only defender to try and cover and try and close the gap in that defense. Timeout called by Astralis, even up 9-2. I like it. Talk about it, close out this half.
And they mentioned in the past that one of the teams that actually started doing this a long time ago, where, you know, winning a round like that, the adrenaline gets a bit high, everybody's get a little bit fired up, you know, so try and calm everything down a bit so that you're not just sort of tumbling into the next round and people make, you know, basic mistakes.
Well, this is where also they know this is like where they can really apply even more pressure. You're up 9-2, and if you win this, they know it shatters, you know, the money from the AVANGAR from the defensive side. So if you get that at this stage in the half, you pretty much have the, you know, the red carpet's out, not only to open the show, but to get you to 13-2 lead.
Kicker walking into the shot. Device absolutely ready for it. James, we do need to see many, many more connections from his point of view right here. He's been trying to go aggressive on pretty much all fronts. I don't know what it'll take, but some of these shots have to be kills soon.
They have so much faith in Adren at the A-bomb site. 3 players again towards B. It's aggression. Sanji peeks right into the Molotov. He was dedicated because of the flashbang from his teammates, but it's just the worst moment for it. James slowly going to creep out, as you said. Need more connections. He does connect. Glaive is down low. Flashbang forces him away. Glaive still holding strong in the corner. Now isolated by the smoke, and he's going to try and back off. Oh! Device returns the favor.
What can you even do at that point in time? You get the leg shot, you want to hunt him down, you don't have any grenades to do anything. You want the USP, but you get flashed, and when you repeat, the guy from behind the smoke will out-snipe you. And now Glaive is checking the bomb side. And he's making a bit of noise. Is he going to realize? He's got no health left. He's saying, listen, he knows now.
He'll take the sacrifice. He'll take the death.
They can just run back.
Yep. Free B bomb site. So Astralis have done it again. They find the right play. And it's going to be a free round. It's going to be a free 10th. Adren and Buster cannot even try for this. And actually, if you're Astralis, you're going to go on the hunt as well. You've got 2 players positioned outside of the A bomb site, so you know they haven't pushed forward to the offensive side of the map. And you can slowly encroach through CT spawn and have them cornered. and you've got plenty of time to ruthlessly take these weapons away. To take them away with the Viking chants in the background.
Yeah, they've been practicing their singing pretty much all year and maybe all of last year as well. Just trying to keep the rifles alive. It all matters right now. Device a couple of line shots, that's not bad. Bit of a one-way smoke being set up, and so far they're going to be able to save the rifles, so that's a very small comfort at this point in the game. 10-2. And we're moving into round number 13. AVANGAR saving 2 rifles. They pick up a couple of AWPs here. I don't know. Even if they get 10-5 right now, I mean, it's still below minimum, isn't it?
Right, it's still in the dangerous area where it just doesn't feel. I think more than even the scoreline, it's just kind of the way these rounds are playing out. Astralis with all the right decisions, just as we saw. They were so sketchy through the legend stage. And once we've gotten to the champion stage, these top 8 playoffs, the quarterfinals and on, when they played Liquid and then NRG, it's the Astralis that you just can't beat. And I have to imagine if you're AVANGAR, you probably don't say it in the chat, but you feel it as one of those players. You just say, they are a step ahead of us. We have no standing in this game. We have no read. And obviously, on an individual level, not feeling the flow very well.
I just think it's the shocking, because I'm sure they must have been watching that NRG game thinking, well, guys, if we're in this position, like, you know, here are all some solutions, here's what we can do. But then when you feel it, and it's on you suddenly, that colossal weight of this team, and you just can't stop it, nothing works, and everything is a struggle. Adren going to be pushing down. This is some creative play, and he's going to be taking up Device, turning around. He's out of bullets. Or he probably would have had that kill on Sip as well, but this is great. Now they should be able to draw back a little bit. They've got the 4 versus 3. Maybe they can actually win this round.
Zip going to start backing away slowly. It's Banana where Astralis attacks next. Great pop flash. Buster going to stick around. He's got to be careful. He's got his teammate here, keeping space between the off. Molotov to cut off the retreat. They got to fight in it, but another great kill from Kicker. And it's Zip all alone, 1 versus 4. He's good, Anders. He's great in clutches. This one would be a masterclass.
Yeah, this would probably be, even by his standards, this would be outrageous. And with the grenade on top, he's also sandwiched in. There is, I mean, in these kind of situations, I think some of the Sip clutches aren't like this, but in this one, you actually need the enemy team to make some pretty colossal mistakes too. They have to give you a way in, like somebody has to go and fight you a bit early, or you get the first kill and everyone just piles on top of you, and then you have, you know, a chance. But they're doing the perfect thing right now, saying you have to turn up at some point and put the bomb down. We're gonna wait for that. And there it is. Buster will drop him. Very good stuff. A bit of team damage at the end, a little bit of panic maybe. 10-3 scoreline as AVANGAR will find another round. That'll put the AVANGAR fans on their feet. Not giving up. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, this has been just such a, what an incredible run it has been for AVANGAR to even get to this point. So obviously the fans are just loving.
Yeah.
That whole section just loving the fact here on the grand final stage.
But you see it right there. I mean, we've seen it in Sanji in this game already, but Adren, the quality of play is so high when they can just get the space for it. But Astralis is just taking it away, and now the grenades on top. Device will take 2 and kick it there to save the day. That would, I mean, it still could be, but that was about to be another absolutely heartbreaking scenario as Astralis nearly steal the round.
What a combination, and that was almost just so deadly. Taking out both of his teammates, and the MAC-10 actually getting aggressive could have been overwhelming. 3-on-3, Dupree far back looking for pushes and ult mid. Weapons being upgraded. And Kicker's going to be blocked off by the smoke, and I think Astralis is going to keep this one simple. They might just march in with this. Go for a contact play. Here are the flashes to allow Magus to have some kind of an advantage, and they're going to find an FTP bomb site.
Yeah, but the question is, Kicker, if he puts up that Molotov, can he push them out into a position where he can take them down through the smoke on the other side? He's waiting right now. Molotov, grenade on top. That's pretty good. That's going to slow down. Sippity burns alive. And the follow-up grenade. A genius play coming out from AVANGAR. That's what they needed. And now the boost on top. But Magisk is there to read it. And it almost falls apart. Now, Adren is being called in as well. Another Molotov. They have one more and an HE on Adren. So they can keep playing this game for a short while. 20 seconds and no bomb plant has happened yet. They just haven't been able to. James trying to get the shot through. Magisk getting another headshot with the Krieg. And now the bomb is finally planted. And Adren, what can you do? He's there for another headshot. Magisk taking every single one down. Just the same angle over and over again.
And laughing while he does it. James took a shot into the box and Major saw his opportunity. He said, you have to reload. You have to spend that 1 second not looking in this direction. And he's going to have the angle for James when he re-peaks. That is beautiful work from Aegis, even finding the boost over. AVANGAR, they do something so well, and they just cannot maintain that player lead. It's the next step, it's that boost up. Astralis being patient and waiting for the next step from AVANGAR. Ooh, I like this. James, he sees the shoulder, but doesn't get a clean shot.
That's run boosting for an AWP peak in the middle in a major grand finals. You have to appreciate that. And that as well. Grenade on Magisk, not the first time he's been blown up.
Look at Glaive. Glaive, this is unbelievable. He has just pushed all the way up mid and he's wrapping around.
Oh no.
And you have to imagine again, this is the read that Glaive as the in-game leader makes. He knows they like to play 3 players. He knows this defense on A can be weak and it can lose track of this. And Adrenaline, unfortunately, is going to be in the losing end of this play.
Caught, bit of danger, but now, what do they do at B? They have to push out, because otherwise they're going to get shot in the back, and as they do, waiting for them out there, Device to take a kill. Now they realize the A bomb site is completely open. Kick at the last one left. They leave a smoke just so we can't chase them down. Everything is just so well timed and planned out for the Astralis team, including Dupree being dead. That's a 12-3 scoreline at the end of the first half here on Inferno. I just can't believe it.
Oh, this is ruthless. This is what the devs talked about.
And make some noise! This is going to be, well, an impossible task for AVANGAR. Trying to run it back from a 12-3 first half score. Astralis, even when they were down, even when they were broke and they had their, well, a chance maybe to get back in the game, AVANGAR, there was no stopping Astralis. Some of the calls, some of the mid-round calls, and obviously that deal round with Sip, it's just too much to handle. Winning the pistol has to be the first step, obviously, but even then, it will be very, very tricky indeed. Let's see what they've got. Double grenade into the corner, and Adren already down to 12. Lucky to be alive.
Yeah, that's a crappy way to have to start this pistol round. Adren gonna have to chill for a bit at logs and not be too aggressive, and which is a shame because he's been phenomenal. He's been one of the fraggers, one of the top fraggers for this AVANGAR side. Kickert gonna take the peek, sees Glaive in the choke point, who's just forced back into the bomb site. 2 Molotovs, 2 smokes, and 2 decoys on the AVANGAR side.
2 Molotovs feels like a B execute, maybe.
2 decoys feels like a fake.
Has anyone ever successfully done that?
No, but this would be the time to do it.
Would be cool. Device going to be boosted up, so already that makes it tricky. There's a little bit rolling in, smoke in front to counter it pretty quickly. So far, none of the smokes have been used, but they're thinking about it. What does Astralis say at this point when they're hearing the decoy? Thinking, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I guess they're hoping AVANGAR that it would force some kind of rotation, but Astralis has kept 3 players here and 2 players at the A bomb site. They're just so confident it's going to be a hit towards this site, and they're correct. Spamming through the smoke blades in a dangerous battle. 2 quick kills, but Device is still here. And we've seen him win incredible pistol rounds in the past. 56 HP, 4-on-3 scenario.
Just yesterday, it's outrageous for him. He's now by construction, waiting back here. Adren, that needed to be a kill. Sanji can still bring it back, and he himself has been playing out of his mind in the grand finals so far, but they just take him out. Magisk with a quick kill. Device is down on the other side. 2-on-2. Oh, James, that's a nice flick, and that's a triple kill. Already doing better in this first round than he did the entire first half. And now Dupree, I don't think he can check everything. I think AVANGAR has actually find a way to win this round. That took everything, didn't it? All on it. Jane with the triple, And a 4th round for AVANGAR.
It's the spam as they approach the smoke. Like Glaive was trying to play behind it, waiting for them to come through, and that spam coming right through just throws off his entire play.
You know that smoke that's down that they're all trying to come through? That was Sip putting it down from the orange boxes. He underhands the smoke so that they all have to line up against the wall as they're coming into the B. It's so smart. And I mean, the fact that in itself could have shut them all down. Look at this, they're all funneled here because of that smoke that's to the left. Man.
Well, I mean, even winning the pistol round is obviously going to be phenomenal for AVANGAR, but you did it in the best possible way. James getting 3 kills, including that spectacular headshot. So for someone who had 1 frag in the first half, that's got to feel good that you at least start things out well this time. 3 MAC-10s and 2 AK-47s. 1 defender for Astralis at the A bomb site. Bomb is still very far back on the map, so no one's really dedicated. They haven't made their decision of where they want to go, but with 3 players top banana, that's got to make you feel a tad bit nervous. You can see the investigation coming from Buster. He spots 1. There's the follow-up peek, so now they know 2 are here, and this utility usage has got to scare the hell out of them. They need to fall back.
He's still sticking around. I was going to say, surely if you're Buster, that just smells like a setup, doesn't it? You get that deep in towards the bomb site, and then a bunch of people peek you at the same time. That should tell you something. Yeah,
I'm actually amazed they're still fighting, and yeah, they're going to come out on top because the betterment of the weapon, because the better weapons. But this is insane. And actually, look at the position from Magisk. Oh, that's not good. That could actually funnel AVANGAR back towards the B bomb site, and now he's going to hide Magisk. He hears Kicker. He hears the footsteps. The bomb is left all alone. Kicker cannot leave his teammate like this. He can't do that. He comes back to help. And now AVANGAR, they finally stabilized, but there was way too much danger in this round.
I absolutely agree. If they had run back to B based off that 1 MP9, that would have been devastating. Now they found a way to make it back, and that could have gone any which way, I think. Reprieve the CC, hoping that someone would come lurking past, but it'll be fine for now. Maybe there's some SMG on the ground you could find somewhere. Certainly AVANGAR going to be winning the 5th round here. 12-5, still a very long way to go. But it's got to put a bit of a smile on your face to see James now picking it up, starting to work with something.
Right, well, yeah, just these 2 rounds, he's already had 5 kills from 1 in the first half, so fair play. And I mean, at least even if you lose this map, at least if you're AVANGAR, if you're buying him time to kind of get going, and maybe the nerves, maybe the first half of the nerves obviously got outplayed a number of times by Astralis, but settle him down, get some kills under his belt, make him feel a little bit better, and you can at least go in the next map and say he started the fire right at the end. And that's better than nothing.
Nothing is also what the Brief found over at top and up. Didn't get anything for it. So that's a shame. Well, the odds are looking even worse than they were to start off with. So I guess that's understandable at this current moment in time.
I'd say so.
12-5. That is still a heavy lead for the Danish side. It's 4 MAC-10s and an AK on the other side. So this time you would expect for there to be maybe a bit more speed, jumping MAC-10s.
Well, I mean, what scares you about it is that's the value you sometimes see when they've already made the decision of where they want to go, right? This is where you see the commitment up banana. Yeah. And if they're going to be full-blown committed right out of spawn, they can run into a stack. We saw Astralis just do it in the previous round. They almost got lured into that trap. Astralis is going to have some small measure of things to fight with. Upgraded pistols, not a whole lot of utility, but there is going to be danger, if AVANGAR isn't careful about this. And they weren't careful in the previous rounds.
We've already seen an example of it, and certainly saw many of them throughout the tournament, of just what happens when you afford Astralis even a slight opening. Anything that you can give them, and it can backfire really quickly. That's a good fight there. Bit of a setup with a flashbang. We do have another interesting stack over at the B-bomb site. In the corner, if they throw a Molotov there, then both people already just go down. And it's just a USP on top, so you have to assume it's going to be somewhat limited how much damage that's going to be doing.
It's doing better than the MAC-10. Good shot from Buster. Bomb still back in T-spawn. It's being picked up now. But the foothold in the B-bomb site is strong for AVANGAR. It's just Zip to defend. At first oranges.
Sentry throwing himself through the smoke with a flashbang. But I think they were just blind spraying that, and it works out. And I don't think there's really much Sim can do here. His device going to be going down. Now everybody's staying alive for the AVANGAR side. 6-12. Taking a step closer in the right direction. You can't really help. You still have that feeling in the back of your mind, like any minute, Astralis can just slam the door on them.
Absolutely, but I mean, at least for the moment, we'll see how this first gun round goes. It's bold for AVANGAR to stick with the 2 MAC-10s, considering the disparity in the scoreline. You'd think they'd want to upgrade immediately and start actually trying to grind back into this game. We'll see what they can play with it. Vice with an AWP, gonna go for the peek down mid. No one swinging wide to challenge. And here comes that 3-man utility usage. Down banana for Astralis that we've seen so many times, and so much damage, and Buster's gone. He eats all of it right in the first round. And that's gotta feel terrible, because you know that's just gonna be happening every single round for as long as this goes on. You have to be worried about which combination of nades Astralis is gonna use.
You know what's so stupid as well as that? Everybody knows this. We mentioned it on the desk. All the teams know that Astralis are so good at this, so you would think that that would cause some kind of a fall-off in the success rate of it. But they're still so good at it, even when you know it's coming, even if you think that, yeah, well, gotta be careful of the grenades. Yes, they're the best team in the world at throwing them, and somehow still you end up walking into them. That in itself must add an extra layer of frustration. Like, well, we had this conversation and still.
Yeah, well, at least Adren gets to upgrade to the AK-47. He had one of the MAC-10s. Still some weapons to get back into this. Sanji on the other side of the map, all on his own, but he only has a MAC-10 as well. So it almost feels like they have to hit the B bomb site and turn him into a lurk. There's a deep smoke for Small Pit, and it's not fooling anyone. Actually, Magisk is even more convinced than ever that it's going to be this B bomb site. They're making noise over here, so if that's an attempt at a fake, it's a very weak one. And Sanji's not able to initiate any action because of the MAC-10.
This is what we used to call an IP play, actually. Kick it, getting a kill, but the crossfire, Magisk, even though we couldn't really see much, still very effective. And Glaive back here doing the damage, and Magisk again, the bomb is down. And Sanji, in this kind of a play, this is something that, you know, the old original NIP lineup used to run. You're playing over a boiler with just one person, and when you start making noise at B, if they rotate people out, that person can either get them in mid-rotation, or you can just sneak up behind them as they're getting through CT spawn. So there's a bunch of ways in which, yeah, well, this is a real throwback, isn't it?
That's a thing of beauty.
Almost brings a tear to my eyes.
It definitely brings a tear to my eyes. It's a gorgeous looking map.
Yeah, it truly is.
Another timeout. I mean, the problem is they're throwing that fake. There's no one there to actually initiate the fake, and they're making noise at top B, so they're actually giving up the fact that that's where they're going to attack.
Yeah.
And not only that, but if you're leaving a player in boiler when you have a 4-on-5, you're actually reducing the number of people you have to take the bomb site itself and stop cold. 13-6, another timeout taken, another timeout ticking away. There's no more money for the offensive side if they lose this. AVANGAR is desperate.
With the bank being empty, AVANGAR have to win this next round, or Astralis probably bounce from 13-15 with almost without skipping a beat, really. Pretty decent grenade to the bottom. It might not seem like a lot. Oh, that's great though. That's Device hitting a shot on kicker down to 8. But just again, for any new viewers, even the 13 or 15 damage done there is the difference when you're fighting AK versus M4. That evens out that fight. So a single headshot will do the damage, and all the M4s essentially become AKs at that point in time.
Well, I mean, I just think it's fascinating how far back on the map that AVANGAR is starting out these G sides after getting blown up by the nades. They just don't want anything to do with it. They don't want to mess with it in any way. Now they've been tagged by the AWP, so Jame has to give over the op.
Kick it low. Flashbang at that corner. Glaive waiting for it. He hears the grenade. He knows that was their initiation to top banana.
Look at the way he's holding his nade, even with him being the only defender at that bomb site. He's not scared whatsoever.
Looked like Device could have got caught then. Texture in the background there, almost sort of masking the model, but it didn't. Now what do they do? Trying to go B this time. I mean, they've got the setup for it. Glaive, 30 seconds. Smoke timing is off the charts, and Sip is there as well. They still have a couple of flashbangs to buy even more time and trying to get through. Sanji down. The bomb is now on the ground. 22 seconds and another nearly impossible. Sip even through the smoke, just tracking him. Glaive trying to see if they get it done. And Jame will take him down, but can they actually win this one? A 2-on-4, or actually a 2-on-5, that now at least they're getting a bomb plant in. Kickert with the orb, he gets downed immediately. Make is somehow able to get that shot. And now it's all on Jame. He's low on health, and he's alone, and Device just edging him out. And that will be round number 14 for Astralis. AVANGAR, at least they get the $800 bomb plant bonus. That's, I mean, it is a really small comfort, but that's the only thing we can really look at. My God.
Yeah, that is just so brutal. And that smoke that Glaive managed, that saved him holding his nerve. He hears them taking banana, hears the pop flash, falls into the site, and he knows they're jumping over car. He can tell the footsteps. They're not actually going to swing around the corner and attack the bomb site. And you almost dare them in a way. You call the bluff. If they want to swing and turn around the corner and just basically rush the B bomb site, you're risking what's on the other side. And AVANGAR had no idea it was just Glaive. He holds that smoke until it really messes with the timing of that hit. They have to come through it. Something that AVANGAR wasn't able to do, hold those nades deep into the rounds in the first half. Look how far back they are again. Buster and Jame not even messing with that main ramp. I mean, Jame has the op trying to find a pick, but even Kicker not turning the corner towards Banana whatsoever until just now, until he knows the nades have been used.
Looking at the way Astralis play, you can tell they're so far inside of their own comfort zone. There's no pressure being put on them to try and recreate anything or come up with something new. Flashbang at that corner, but Glaive is immediately back in. Could have hit the blind timing, but did not this time. They do fall. They do get pushed back a little bit further on the map this time. So top mid and top banana actually almost getting retook top banana now for Astralis. They're thinking about it. Device still lingering around here. Otherwise, oh, mid-air, but Sanji, great timing against Device. Magus now falling back, going to be putting up that Molotov to try and buy a little bit of time. A big opening here for AVANGAR.
And Astralis knows this is going to be a fake. They know that AVANGAR has to use any advantage they have, and that's taking out Device at the bomb site. They're rotating everyone here. They know the hit is coming. They know it's going to be everyone on the attack, and Magus holding on to Pit perfectly. Zip to help him out. He does eventually go down, but like I said, the rest of Astralis here to defend. And off angle inside the site, and somehow AVANGAR coming on top of these battles. Zipnik's just waiting around the edge of the smoke.
He's been waiting. He's actually sacrificed to Pre to try and get more than just the one kill. And there he picks it up, pre-firing it. He knows Kickert is in there. That's the bottom down Zip. The sacrifice was all worth it. He gets a triple, and now Sanji has to back on out. There's no winning the round. That's 15. That is map point for Astralis. He could have tried to help out Dupree in there. He could have done something. He was hiding at the edge of the smoke instead. It's pretty heartless, but at the same time, you see the result.
I think you're fine with it if you're Dupree. I mean, remember, he's one of the B defenders. Usually on those kinds of hits, he's not even supposed to be there. The fact that they had the read that it was going to be an all-in from AVANGAR after the Molotov faded is perfect. And a great recovery from Astralis. 15-6, they've got 9 chances to close out this map 1 of the Berlin Major Grand Finals. And against 3 pistols, the op on Jame, I think they've got a great chance, but another good find. Another good pick for AVANGAR, and they follow it up with Buster.
Spray through Sip, and the last bullet that he sprays had more in the chamber, but
that's just so stupid.
It is actually stupid. The opening is there for 1 second, and Sip rolls in. Jame trying to focus on top mid, the smoke to his left, and there's Dupree, in fact, taking down Sanji. So far, nobody knows, nobody has found out what does it take to stop this version of Astralis. And it's not like they haven't tried. I mean, a lot has been thrown at them even in this Inferno game, and none of it can be replicated. Whatever you find in one round, you can't do it in the next. Dupree walking in, and he wins the fight against the Dren. And now Kickert, he goes down to Sip, and that's 16 rounds to the 6 of AVANGAR, and Astralis winning the first map here in the major finals.
That's a brutal one. Very comprehensive in AVANGAR. I mean, again, we mentioned it when this began. You cannot start in an 8-0 hole against Astralis.